A resurfaced video is exposing the division inside the Labour establishment as Emily Thornberry has been seen to be repeatedly attacking Keir Starmer as the head of the Crown Prosecution Service. I did tell you guys before these attack ads that the Labour Party have been doing, posting on Twitter, which is quite libelous, by the way, against Rishi Sunak, are going to come back and backfire massively. And it has. You remember these? The last couple of weeks, the Labour Party have been refusing to back down, and they've been posting these libelous attacks saying, do you think that adults who are harming children should go to prison? Or Rishi Sunak doesn't. I'm like, that's just a lie. You can say that the government have been incompetent, haven't done anything to tackle the issue. Yeah, fair point. But you can't really claim someone said something that they didn't, or they do something that they didn't. Anyway, now the whole thing's already backfired, and the latest opinion poll shows that the last week or so the Labour Party is slowly going down. They're still obviously leading, but now Emily Thornberry and many other loyal Starmerites, is that Starmerists? Starmerites, whatever they're called. They've been going around saying, yeah, we are strongly behind our dear leader, and we are going to be attacking Rishi Sunak, and Keir Starmer did nothing wrong, even though he was the head of CPS, the Crown Prosecution Service. His job was to basically manage the prosecutions. He was also a member of the Sentencing Council, whose job was to do the sentencing guidelines. Basically, if anyone's going to get the blame for the criminals not getting proper sentences, it was actually Keir Starmer, not Rishi Sunak, who's only been Prime Minister for 10 minutes. I'm not a fan of Rishi, I'm just saying it. But this is absolutely fascinating. Keir Starmer was actually the head of CPS. Also, I did not make this meme. It's absolutely hilarious, but Jimmy Savile. Now, we have this resurfaced video of Emily Thornberry. The videos go back to 2010, when she was a backbencher. And she called out CPS, Sentencing Council, Keir Starmer, and many others who were not doing anything at the time.
Does the right honourable gentleman believe that if a member of the public had launched an unprovoked attack on a police officer, which immediately followed in the officer's death, and all of that incident was on film, that a pathologist of highly dubious professionalism would have been appointed to investigate, that pathologist would have been allowed to throw away samples that could have proved the link between the assault and the death? And does he also agree with me that it would be highly unlikely that, even if we want to leave aside the evidence in relation to connection with the manslaughter, that there would be no action in relation to an assault? We have all seen the film. The man was clearly assaulted, and we have also, have we not, read Nat Carey's evidence in which he says that there is an area of bruising consistent with him being hit with a baton, and as Nat Carey says, if that isn't ABH, what is? How can it be that the CPS have taken 15 months in order to come to no conclusion? They are not going to take any action at all. This would not have happened if the tables had been turned, I suggest. And I suggest that this shows there is no equality before the law. And if the honourable gentleman agrees with me, what is he going to do about it?
I'm really disappointed. I'm really disappointed in the Crown Prosecution Service for letting down these victims. You know, when evidence comes forward, I'm really shocked that they did not go ahead with the prosecution. And it's for that reason that I wrote in my capacity as Shadow AG to Her Majesty's Inspector of the Crown Prosecution Service the day after this stuff came out and asked for an independent inspection.
And that is being investigated now.
It's being investigated by the Crown Prosecution Service. And it's a little bit like the BBC doing an investigation of itself, or the Health Service doing an investigation of itself, or Broadmoor doing an investigation of itself. I actually think that Harriet Harman is right, that we need to have a larger investigation, and we need to look at, you know, the sexualisation of 15-year-olds, the way in which girls are not taken seriously.
Oh, who would have thought, definitely not Emily Thornberry at the time, that the person she was attacking was one day going to become her party leader. And yes, she was right that CPS launching an investigation into themselves, that's just pointless. As she said, it's like the BBC launching an investigation into themselves. What is the point of that? And as a reminder, to back up her arguments, just to actually show you evidence that she actually did do that, she did write to Keir Starmer. She actually posted on her own website, as you can see, Emily Thornberry, 25th of September 2012. The CPS was backsliding on these prosecutions. Emily Thornberry MP, Labour's Shadow Attorney General, has today written to the Director of Public Prosecutions, Keir Starmer QC. And of course also the Attorney General, Dominic Grieve, and many others, to demand an urgent rethink of the CPS's decision to weaken the guidelines. And that's how criminals got away with it. Because CPS, under the management and leadership of Keir Starmer, decided to weaken the guidelines. And the Sentencing Council weakened the sentencing guidelines. And this is why we are now in this situation where the Labour Party have the cheeks to go out there to actually say, well, I'm going to blame Rishi Sunak. You guys did it. You weakened the guidelines. And someone else, again, not really defending the Tory government because they're now in power, they should go to CPS and change it. And of course, they've been making some changes over the last few years. But it's absolutely disgusting. It's a whole establishment. You're all as bad as each other. Anyway, this was the latest update for you guys. We're going to come back later in half an hour. I'm Mahyar Tousi, and we are the media.